And this has been discussed between Narada Muni and Lord Brahma uh, in quite some detail. Narada Muni asked Lord Brahma that I am quite disturbed about this. Um, so can you please clarify it? And Lord Brahma, he pointed out, Lord Vishnu's body is not a physical body. It is fully spiritual, which is defectless, and that alone is Lord Vishnu's. That alone is the nature of Lord Vishnu's birth. Still, for the bewilderment of the asuras and others, sometimes that Lord who possesses pure and spiritual qualities manifests distress, ignorance, fatigue, etc. Where there are wounds, etc., and no, where is the question of wounds, etc.? Where is the question of ignorance in him? He is independent. He possesses spiritual qualities which are inconceivable. So this has been brought out that merely by a study of the Supreme Lord with a demonic attitude, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One needs to have a service attitude. Only then will the Lord allow the devotee to understand him. Otherwise, simply by scriptural study or even by direct perception, one may be having a demoniac attitude, and one may directly be in a universe at a time when Krishna is manifesting any one of his pastimes in any one of his incarnations. But whatever we perceive is simply to bewilder us as long as we don't accept the attitude of unconditional service and surrender. Apart from that, there are other reasons also why the Supreme Lord manifests such nature. For his pure devotees, he manifests this nature in order to invoke Prema Bhakti Rasa, which is only accessible for those who have at least passed beyond Shanta Rasa. In Shanta Rasa, one does not have any thirst for enjoyment, nor does he have any thirst for liberation. He does not want personal material happiness, nor does he want personal spiritual happiness, and his consciousness is fixed on the Supreme Lord. So for devotees who have attained their Swarup, for them all of this is a matter of rasa. This has been brought out in greater detail by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan in one of his books called Siddhanta Ratna, also called Bhashya Pitaka. One of the brothers, Jagai, was astonished to see this behavior of Nityananda Prabhu, and he at once fell down at his feet and asked him to pardon his sinful brother. When Madhai again attempted to hurt Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai stopped him and implored him to fall down at his feet. In the meantime, the news of Nityananda's injury reached the Lord, who at once hurried to the spot in a fiery and angry mood. This is referring, reached the Lord refers to reached Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very angry. He was supremely angry because Lord Nityananda Prabhu is the original Vaishnava spiritual master. He is a natural spiritual master for all living entities. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot tolerate anyone even attempting to hurt Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So the Lord immediately invoked his Sudarshan Chakra, the Lord's ultimate weapon, shaped like a wheel to kill the sinners. But Nityananda Prabhu reminded him of his mission. The mission of the Lord was to deliver the hopelessly fallen souls of Kali Yuga. And the brothers Jagai and Madhai were typical examples of these fallen souls. 99% of the population of this age, Prabhupada is being very generous here, 99% of the population of this age resembles these brothers despite high birth and mundane respectability. According to the verdict of the revealed scriptures, the total population of the world in this age will be of the lowest Shudra quality or even lower. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. It should be noted that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never acknowledged the stereotyped caste system by birthright. Rather, he strictly followed the verdict of the Shastras in the matter of one's Swarupa or real identity. Note here that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not hesitant to kill Jagai and Madhai just because they were born in a Brahmin family. One is a Brahmana not by birth, rather he is a Brahmana by quality. This has been very clearly stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Look at this important verse that Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur repeatedly quoted. This is from the 7th canto, as you can see. Yasya Lakshanam Proktam Pumso Varnabhivyanjakam Yad Anyatrabi Drishyeta Tat Tenaiva Vinirtishet. This is Srila Narada Muni speaking to Sri Yudhishthir when he is discussing Varnashrama Dharma. He had just finished describing the duties of the various Varnas. And then he says, if one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. So even if one is born in, let's say, a Brahmana family, he has appeared in that class, meaning he has biologically appeared in that class, in the Brahmana class, but he exhibits the primary symptoms of a Vaishya, he should be accepted as a Vaishya. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he followed this teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. He did not deal with Jagan Mathaya respectfully and so on. He simply wanted to kill them because they had committed Vaishnava Aparadha, and apart from that, they are not even functioning as authentic Brahmanas. Another point to be noted is Nityananda Prabhu. He's taking here the role of a Purushakara, an intermediate, a mediator between the hopelessly fallen souls of Kali Yuga and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore it behooves us to pray to Lord Nityananda Prabhu for giving us the eligibility in order to please the pure devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the Lord was invoking his Sudarshan Chakra and Srila Nityananda Prabhu was imploring him to forgive the two brothers, both the brothers fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord and begged his pardon for their gross behavior simply by the presence of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. At that time, Jagai and Madhai, they understood the seriousness of the situation. So both of them, they fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and with great honesty, without any duplicity, they begged for his pardon. The Lord was also asked by Nityananda Prabhu to accept these repenting souls, and the Lord agreed to accept them on one condition, that they henceforward completely give up all their sinful activities and habits of debauchery. This is a very, very important point. This is a point that Lord Nityananda Prabhu himself had brought up in his preaching adventures and activities. Later on, after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, the Lord instructed Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal and preach, because the Lord did not want people to get the misconception that you need to take sannyas in order to progress in Krishna consciousness. And therefore he sent Lord Nityananda Prabhu to preach in Bengal. In fact, instructed him to marry, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu did exactly that, and he preached. Now at one point in Chaitanya Bhagavat it is described that there were some thieves who had come to steal things from Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur draws our attention to Lord Nityananda Prabhu's rectification of those thieves and the instructions that he gave to those thieves. Lord Nityananda specifically told them that don't commit such sinful activities again. Stay in the pathway of dharma and engage in Krishna consciousness. And not only that, bring other sinful people into the pathway of dharma and introduce them to Krishna consciousness too. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission means that we engage in Krishna consciousness without sinful activities. This is in fact preliminary. This is meant to be preliminary. Both the brothers agreed and promised to give up all their sinful habits, and the kind Lord accepted them and did not again refer to their past misdeeds. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's great kindness. Very, very great kindness. This is the specific kindness of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, no one can say that he is free from sin. It is impossible for anyone to say this. But Lord Chaitanya accepts all kinds of sinful persons on the one condition that they promise not to indulge in sinful habits after being spiritually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepts us even though we were extremely abominable. Still, he wants us to promise to the spiritual master and fulfill that promise throughout our spiritual endeavor until we attain full love of God. That we will never again even attempt to indulge in sinful habits. there is a misconception that is floating around in ISKCON that Srila Prabhupada is more kind than Lord Chaitanya, and he's so kind that he accepts you even if you're addicted to sinful habits. However, that is not Prabhupada's teachings. Prabhupada was repeatedly and emphatically clear that we must give up offenses and sinful activities. At one point, he even said, if you cannot follow the regulative principles, I cannot help you. There are a number of instructive points to be observed in this incident of the two brothers. In this Kali Yuga, practically all people are of the quality of Jagai and Madhai. If they want to be relieved from the reactions of their misdeeds, they must take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and after spiritual initiation, thus refrain from those things which are prohibited in the Shastras. The prohibitory rules are dealt within the Lord's teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had zero tolerance for sinful activities, and he was extremely strict about this. He in fact banished Chota Haridas, and apart from that, we also learn from Chaitanya Charitamrita Antyalila in the incident dealing with the Gopinath Pattanayaka that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not tolerate unethical, immoral activities. So those of us who are interested in progressing in Krishna consciousness must pay attention to all of this. During his householder life, the Lord did not display many of the miracles which are generally expected from such personalities, but he did once perform a wonderful miracle in the house of Srinivas Thakur. Srinivas Thakur is the same as Srivas Thakur. While Sankirtan was in full swing, he asked the devotees what they wanted to eat, and when he was informed that they wanted to eat mangoes, he asked for a seed of a mango, although this fruit was out of season. When the seed was brought to him, he sowed it in the yard of Srinivas, and at once a creeper began to grow out of the seed. Within no time, this creeper became a full-grown mango tree, heavy with more ripened fruits than the devotees could eat. The tree remained in Srinivas's yard, and from then on, the devotees used to take as many mangoes from the tree as they wanted. This incident is brought out in Chaitanya Bhagavat. The Lord had a very high estimation of the affections of the damsels of Vraja Bhumi, Vrindavan, for Krishna, and in appreciation of their unalloyed service to the Lord, once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted the holy names of the gopis, cowherd girls, instead of the names of the Lord. At this time, some of his students, who were also disciples, came to see him, and when they saw that the Lord was chanting the names of the gopis, they were astonished. Out of sheer foolishness, they asked the Lord why he was chanting the names of the gopis and advised him to chant the name of Krishna. The Lord, who was in ecstasy, was thus disturbed by these foolish students. He chastised them and chased them away. The students were almost the same age as the Lord, and thus they wrongly thought of the Lord as one of their peers. They held a meeting and resolved that they would attack the Lord if he dared to punish them again in such a manner. This incident provoked some malicious talks about the Lord on the part of the general public. The idea is that the Supreme Lord, he was in ecstasy, and therefore being in the ecstasy of his young gopi devotees of Goloka Vrindavan, he was disturbed by this advice that he should chant Krishna's name and that he should not chant the names of the gopis. But the students, simply because they were of the same age as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within the pastime, they misunderstood him to be their equal, and they wanted to retaliate. There's a reason behind why this incident occurred. The Lord created this in order to create the situation by which he would take sannyas for the welfare of everyone. And Prabhupada will deal with this in the next paragraph.